Sometimes we can fall into a pattern of making decisions based on fear. But fear can prevent us from doing the things that we most want to do and narrow our experience of everyday life. So how do we help a client to work through fear so that it no longer holds them back? Well, Lynn Lyons used a playful technique to help one client face her fear in a creative way.
I had a woman come to see me, and she was in her late 60s and had a long history of anxiety and depression, and had been on this med and that med, and had been to therapy in 1970 and then again in 1983, and had sort of managed it okay. But she had developed really unexpectedly, with no, sort of cause, and people like to try and figure out what caused the anxiety, and I find that to be, it's interesting, but not really necessarily accurate or helpful. She had developed a fear of driving, particularly on the highway, which she had been able to manage for a few years. She had moved back to New Hampshire. She had actually driven across the country and moved back here, so it wasn't really a problem a few years ago. But here came this fear, and it was just, same church, different pew. Her daughter was going to become pregnant soon. So her daughter was at the time when she was planning to have a family, and her daughter lived about 15 miles away. And the reason she came to see me is that this fear of driving is going to get in the way of me being able to see my grandchild. And so I need to address it. And so she came to see me, and she had worked previously on it. They had done a lot of sort of breathing and calming stuff, which was sort of helpful, but not all that helpful. The therapist had her sit in the garage in her car and do her breathing, and had given the instruction of, when you feel calm, then back out of the driveway and head on your drive, right? Well, that's not good. How many times had she gone on a drive? 0, because how many times has she felt calm and confident sitting in the driver's seat? So did the same thing. We pulled her worry out. I forget, she named it Edith or something, and gave a voice to Edith, made Edith into this character. I often ask people, is there somebody in your life who, when they talk, you are like, oh, not such good advice? Is there somebody who, when they talk, you sort of nod politely, but you don't listen to what they say? Let's fashion your anxiety after that. And I said, I want you to get in the car, and I want you to invite Edith to go along with you. Turn to Edith. And I said, I want you to literally turn to Edith and say, Edith, I'm glad you're coming along on this drive. Fasten your seatbelt, please. Right? I'm not putting you in charge. I want to see my granddaughter. You're not particularly invested in that. So you can come along as a passenger, but I'm taking charge. And Edith is gonna be there. You're gonna feel, like this. And then you're gonna put the car in reverse and you're gonna drive. And she came back to see me about 2 weeks later, and she said, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I said, what do you mean? She said, I didn't really feel all that anxious when I got in the car. I know I'm supposed to sort of invite Edith along and feel my worry, but I didn't really feel that badly. And she had gone on like 5 drives in the time that I had seen her.
As Lynn explained, naming and addressing their fears can help our clients begin to break free from them. Now we'd like to hear from you. How do you help clients work through their fears? Please leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.